Level 1. Ranflero. When you open your eyes at 4 a.m., the first thing you see is the concrete ceiling yellowed, bloated with moisture, an old water stain in the middle that's been there for years. As if the prison itself carries its own wounds. But you don't even feel that ceiling anymore. Your mind is already outside, in that narrow alley in San Salvador, calculating who gave you up. You're not looking for a name, you're looking for a pattern. Who talked too much, whose eyes burned differently that night, which handshake lasted half a second too short. In MS-13, betrayal doesn't arrive suddenly. It seeps in slowly, over days, sometimes weeks of warning signs you failed to read. That's what bothers you most. Not 30 years, but that one detail you missed. 30 years. When the judge said that number, everyone in the courtroom looked at you, journalists, families, jurors, all of them waiting to see a collapse, a crack in your face. You just smiled and closed a line in your notepad. Your lawyer asked about it afterward. Why did you smile? You didn't answer, because it didn't need explaining. That day, you understood that prison wasn't the end. It was the new office. Only the walls had changed, not the rules of the game. If anything, some rules were clearer here, more honest. Outside, everyone hid their power, but inside, power walked naked. Your first week, you do nothing. You only watch. This isn't passivity, it's investment. You note who looks at whom, who avoids eye contact, which guard works overtime, which one walks to the end of the corridor at lunch to check his phone, all of it in your mind, never on paper. You study how the tables form in the cafeteria. People don't draw power maps with words, they draw them with where they sit. Who sits next to whom? Whose table always has room? Whose path makes people walk faster? All of it gives you an org chart, unofficial but real. MS-13's structure inside doesn't mirror the one outside the homeboy. Hierarchy works differently here, more compressed, more fragile. Because everyone is within the same four walls, and there's nowhere to run. Ranfleros are the first-tier fighters, big frames, steady eyes, but no decisions of their own. They are instruments. Right now, you are one of them. You're strong, you're visible, but you're watching upward. Level 2. Palabrero. In the third month, you speak to your first guard. His name is Ramon, 42 years old, a cheap wedding ring on his left hand. His trousers never pressed, but his shoes polished every single day. You notice that contradiction early. He shines the shoes himself, but he has no time or will to iron the trousers. A tired man. His mother is on dialysis, his insurance insufficient. Every month he covers the gap out of his own pocket. You spent 3 weeks learning this from visitor logs, from fragments of small talk between guards, from a half-sentence overheard in a corridor. You're no longer just the man who takes orders. You're the man who speaks. The palabrero talks, carries weight, but waits for final approval from above. This rank makes you visible. This is where you learn the right words, the right silences, how to deliver the right message to the right person at the right moment. In MS-13, power comes from knowledge before it comes from muscle. If you want to control someone, you need to understand them first, before you ever frighten them. You don't offer Ramon money that would be amateurish and dangerous. He could refuse and report you. Instead, through a contact, regular monthly donations begin flowing to the foundation of the hospital where his mother receives treatment. Your name never comes up. A week later, Ramon looks at you differently. He can't pinpoint why, but he feels something has shifted. A few months later, he closes the corridor a little later, locks the door a little slower. And you never demand any of this, he gives it freely, because he is now genuinely on your side. Level 3, shot caller. The communication system you build inside the prison looks meaningless from the outside, absurd even. The scratches on the food tray, 3 horizontal, 1 diagonal, are a date code for the next visit. The angle at which a mop is held during cleaning hours in the cell corridor, tilted left or right, tells the difference between message received and still waiting. The papers slipped under the table during lawyer visits appear to carry legal notes, but the way the paper is folded, which corner sits on top, The depth of the ballpoint pen's pressure carries an entirely different text. Now you are the shot caller, the highest operational authority inside the prison. The man who makes no noise, who sits in his corner, who appears to read his book, but who feels every breath in the room. This coded language connects to a nervous system stretching from Los Angeles to Guatemala City, then to the back room of a warehouse in Miami, and you are that system's brain. Invisible, untouchable, but every impulse passes through you. You no longer need a phone to send orders outside. Phones leave trails, and trails are weakness. The order of documents in your lawyer's briefcase, the angle of a signature in the visitor log, these are all messages. The network breathes, even in your absence. Because when you built it to be independent of you, not dependent on you. The best structures stand without their founders. Level 4 Emperor. Inside, you build an economy. Cigarettes, medicine, protection, information. Everything has a price, and you set that price. But you are never visible in any transaction. The money trail never reaches you, because between every transaction, there are at least 2 layers you control one. That person controls the other, and the two have never met. The financial channel you built, in coordination with MS-13's outside structure, is laundered through a small textile business. The owner is your childhood friend's cousin. The accountant is his university-educated wife. The tax records are spotless, cleared every year through audits. Managing the economy inside is more delicate than outside, because here you sleep in the same room as your clients, and a dispute doesn't erupt on a street corner, it erupts in the cafeteria. That's why you spot objections early. A man setting his fork down on the table a little too hard at dinner. A ranflero breaking eye contact with you for 3 straight days. The way someone's greeting changes by half a second as they pass you in the corridor. You don't resort to force to correct these things. You talk first, or someone talks on your behalf. You have an empire now, built between walls, invisible, but every cell of it functioning. Power is greater when it can be felt without being used. Level 5, Reckoning. But right here, at your most powerful just before sleep, that morning comes back to you. When you were 14, when you couldn't find the money for your father's leg surgery, the gangrene had set in, when you knocked on the pharmacist's door. When you waited in front of the butcher's shop, when you saw your mother crying. You went door to door in the neighborhood, no one was there. Everyone said, "I'm doing what I can," and closed the door. Then finally a neighbor whispered, "Go to that address. They help." You didn't hesitate. You were 14. You could hear your father moaning, and hesitation was a luxury. They helped. The surgery happened, the leg was saved. Your father stood up again. The price wasn't asked that day, but in MS-13, nothing is free. The invoice just arrives late. Yours came 10 years later. By then you could no longer choose, because that organization was in your blood, and you were in theirs. Now, when you think of Ramon's mother, your own mother's face from that morning rises in your mind, and you never want to connect those 2 women in your head, because if you do, everything becomes heavier. Level 6, Final Floor, the Captive Emperor. Every new inmate who enters the prison is assessed by one of your observers, who is usable, who is a threat, who is worthless. This classification is systematic, cold, and fast because prison doesn't like wasted time, and neither do you. The newcomer's walk is studied. Are you hiding fear? Are you performing fearlessness? Or are you genuinely unafraid? These 3 are different, and a trained eye separates them instantly. The eyes are studied, the hand movements, and you absorb all these reports at night, before sleep, in silence. While making these cold calculations, you know that a street gang leader in Los Angeles is waiting for your approval. He's been waiting 8 hours, because if approval is delayed, work is delayed. And if work is delayed, money is delayed. You know that a drug route in Tijuana is waiting for your decision. The alternative path is shorter but riskier, and you're turning over in your mind whether you have enough information to decide. And here, within these 4 walls, right now in the darkness of the corridor, a boy is standing, newly arrived, 16 years old at most, narrow shoulders, eyes both frightened and angry. He looks exactly like you at 14. The same gaze, The same tension in the jaw. The same, don't touch me, but don't ignore me either, posture. You don't know what to tell him. You can't say leave because he has nowhere to go. You can't say stay because you know all too well what staying costs. You look at that boy and you look away, something you almost never do in your life, because to hold that gaze is to ask again every question you answered about yourself 30 years ago. When you walk out at the end of 30 years, if you walk out, and that if is real, because even inside, life carries no guarantees. And betrayal doesn't always come from outside the world. Waiting for you may be your greatest punishment. The network you built will still be running. The economy will still be turning. Your name will still be opening and closing doors. But you are no longer sure whether you are still inside that man. The concrete ceiling is gone. In its place is open sky. And sometimes in the rarest of moments, when you open your eyes at 4 a.m. and look up, you realize you miss that water stain. Because it was real, it was permanent, and you always knew exactly where it was. Everything you built was constructed on top of everything you lost, and carrying that truth is a sentence heavier than any prison wall could ever give you.